We'll be solving the computer science periodic quizzes, 95 questions, inshallah. So let's begin. One category of software is application software. There's two categories of software. There's system software and there's application software. It's only these two. Question 2. Which of the following is an example of application software? An accounting system for a shop. It's nothing related to the computer itself. Like when you talk about a system software, you're talking about the operating system, the thing that makes the computer function. But the software inside the computer, like the applications and the games, are part of application software. So an accounting system for a shop is an application software. A utility program is like a virus scanner, like, and the cleaner. Like it's something to help manage the computer along with the operating system. It's something that helps the operating system. A text editor and Microsoft Windows. Look, a text editor is an application. Microsoft Windows is an operating system. And only these two are the options. Question 3. Which of the following statements describe system software? They control and improve the computer's performance? Yes, because it's the software that helps the computer function itself. They include task-specific programs such as accounting systems? No, this is application software. These programs are only run by the user when needed? No, because we always need it. We always need the system software. They include general use programs such as image editors. That's incorrect. They provide an environment for other programs to run. Because you cannot open an application software if you don't have the system software already running in the background. Only these two. Which of the following is a type of system software? There's 3 system softwares. There's utility program, a device driver, and an operating system. They're mentioned in the book. Also, the book material, it's exactly the same as the AMS, except they included chapter 4.1 to chapter 4.7. Okay, virus scanners, data compression programs, and disk defragmenters are all examples of utility programs. They help the operating system. They're part of the system software. Question 6. Which of the following are the main functions of an operating system? It allows the computer to communicate with the computer's software and hardware using a human-computer interface? Yes, because like how will we communicate with the computer if there's no operating software? Okay, it manages the different hardware devices using these devices' drivers. Yes. It allows the user to run numerous programs simultaneously. This one. Because like we can open programs only if we have an operating system already on. Provides access to the internet. ما له دخل. إيش دخل الoperating system? Like the operating system has nothing to do with the internet. It checks the computer for viruses and keeps a list. This is the utility program. The operating system is responsible for maintaining security of the computer system. Which of these is done when by operating system to maintain security? It manages user account and access rights using usernames and passwords. That's correct. When you open your computer, sometimes like you can add a password. Like this password, it's with the system software, with the operating system. It allows the users to run many programs at the same time. They're asking about maintaining security. Running many programs has nothing to do with that. And the rest of the options are incorrect. It's only one option. Question 8. The operating system has many functionalities. Which of the following is considered a multitasking functionality of the operating system? They only want the multitasking. We ignore the other functionalities. See, it says it allows the user to format اشتغل. It checks for and reports hardware and software errors. This is interrupt signals. It allows the user to load, save, delete. No. It allows the user to open several programs and listen to music at the same time. That's correct, because they're doing many stuff at the same time. The operating system allows many file management functionalities. Which of the following is an example? See, it allows the user to open, save, and print a file. The rest are unrelated to the whole question. A company buys a new computer on which it will store all the client transactions and data. Explain why the company's new computer requires an operating system. To allow saving and creating files, yes. To allow the computer to manage printers and scanners attached to it, yes. To allow the company to access the internet, it has nothing to do with the internet. To keep company files safe by allowing different users to have different access rights, yeah, by putting passwords. So to allow users to use more than one program at the same time. This is also a function of the operating system, because they can store the client transactions, they can also open the client name and the history, like they can open more than one thing at the same time. The internet has nothing to do with the operating system. Which of the following is firmware that handles the startup of the motherboard? It's the BIOS. Like the BIOS, it's a type of firmware. Right? It says firmware, it checks and initializes the connected hardware devices, loads the required part of the operating system, and runs it. It's like the thing that starts up the whole operating system. Which of the following is true about firmware? It's a type of software. It has to be. The operating system is an example of firmware? No, because the BIOS is the thing that like opens the operating system. How can the operating system be a firmware? BIOS is an example of firmware, yes. Firmware is found in the RAM? No, it's found in the ROM, the ROM, the ROM, because you cannot change it. It's a non-volatile memory location. So it can be easily changed? No, because it's in the ROM. So it's only two options. Which of the following is true about firmware? It cannot be deleted by the user without special programs. You need something like special, professional to change it. You cannot easily change it. Application software is an example of firmware? No, because like it's an application. Like if you install ebooks, it's an application. You can change it. They can change the books. It is found in the ROM, yes. It can be easily modified by the user? No. It is deleted from the computer when it is turned off? No, because it's ROM. RAM is volatile. Which software allows users to try it out for a trial period before buying it? Shareware only. It's like, when you Spotify, like there's a 2-month free trial and then you have to pay money to access it. Yeah, this is shareware. All of the following are functions of the operating system except multi-monitoring. Multitasking and multi-programming is like a function. It's not one of the functions. Like if you open the ebook, you don't see it as one of these points. It's not a function. The rest are functions of the operating system. If you want to read this, you can screenshot it. It's nice, it's useful. Question 16. Which of the following statements below is false about interrupts? Each interrupt signal is assigned a priority, yes. Interrupt signals can be generated by devices, yes. When an interrupt occurs, execution. No, because here it doesn't spend more time on processing because it stops the whole processing and shifts the attention all to the interrupt, the problem. Like it pauses everything that you're doing and then it focuses on the interrupt, like the problem. It focuses on the problem, and when it's resolved, it goes back to what it was doing before the interrupt. Which of the following describes an interrupt? There are two types of interrupts hardware and software interrupts. That's correct. When an interrupt occurs, the execution of the current program is suspended and control is passed on to the interrupting device. That's correct. An interrupt is generated by a peripheral. Yes. An interrupt is a type of hardware. No, it's like a signal. A BIOS is an example of an interrupt. No, it boots the operating system. It's a type of firmware. So it's only these three options. Question 18. Which of the following is an example of a software interrupt? The computer is trying to print but the printer is turned off. This is a hardware interrupt because we're talking about a printer. So this is not an option. A divide by zero error. If you go to Python and you try to calculate the average, for example, and the denominator happened to be zero, it will give you uh, an interrupt. Like it's gonna tell you you cannot divide by zero. So it's an interrupt, a software interrupt. Trying to save on a disk that is out of space, this is a hardware interrupt because you can touch the disk. It's something physical. Scanner cover is open is also something physical. A program produces an error while running. This is also a software interrupt. Question 19. Many devices may send interrupt signals. How can the operating system decide which interrupt to handle first? So there's priorities assigned to each interrupt. Like if you have an interrupt with a priority number 3 and you get an interrupt number 2 while handling this interrupt, like this interrupt will be paused and then the attention will be shifted to the one that has the higher priority. So each interrupt is assigned a priority, which indicates each interrupt is handled first. Yes. Interrupts are handled randomly in any order. No, because each one has a priority. The interrupts work together with one. It's only one option, so you choose that. All of the following are benefits of using a low-level programming language, except it can... Okay. It is not written using English-like statements that are easy to understand, because English-like statements are a function, are a characteristic of high-level programming languages. It's only this one. The rest are all benefits of low programming languages. All of the following are advantages of a high-level programming language, except it can access registers directly and more efficiently than low-level programming languages. Because, only low-level programming languages can access registers directly. Low-level programming languages, such as the assembly language, is in hexadecimal form. It's closer to binary. But if you think about high-level programming languages, such as Python, it's English wording. It's so far away from binary. But if you want, you can double check it. But in the book, they don't go into the details. They just say that low-level programming languages have direct access and high-level languages don't. That's all. Assemblers, compilers, and interpreters are all examples of translators. These two are for high programming languages, and this one is only for the low level programming language. So it's translators. Question 23. Which of the following describes assembly language? It's a low-level programming language. It uses hexadecimal code to represent data and memory addresses. It uses mnemonics. I don't know how to say it, written in English. Yes. Question 24. Which of the following is true about a compiler? If a program needs to be run again, it needs to be recompiled. No, this is only for the interpreter. The generated code can be run again and again without recompilation. That's correct. It allows testing of small pieces of a large program a bit at a time. This is the definition of an interpreter. An error report is generated after compilation. Yes, if you have an interpreter, when it reaches the line with the error, it gives you an error directly. It doesn't finish the program fully. It translates a low-level language to machine code. No, this is only high level. Which of the following is an advantage of a compiler? It does not produce machine code. Then what's the point? Okay, even if the programmer makes changes to the program, there is no need for recompilation. That's incorrect. It produces object code which can be run without recompilation. That's correct. It only translates and runs a few instructions at a time. This is an interpreter. Better security because code does not need to be distributed with the program. See, it doesn't say anything about it having to be distributed in the program. You can just memorize it. Like, look, it says... I don't really understand the last option. If you want, you can check it on ChatGPT, but it didn't say anything about it in the book. Because I read the book, it didn't يعني, go into the details. I just need to memorize it or understand it through ChatGPT. If you want, at the end of the video, I can go back to it and check it. Wait, I'll screenshot it. Oh no. Okay, I'll screenshot it. I'll see it in the end of the video. Okay. Question 26. Which of the following is true about an interpreter? It translates It allows testing of small pieces of a large program a bit at a time. Yes. If a program needs to be run again, it must be interpreted again. Yes. It translates a high-level language into a low-level language. No, it translates a high-level language into machine language. It usually analyzes one source code statement at a time. That's correct. Question 27. Which of the following are disadvantages of using interpreters? Less security because the source code may need to be distributed. Same idea. Like something about it being distributed. It's kind of weird. I'll also double check it at the end of the video. They run slowly, yes, because it does it one at a time, one line at a time. They do not produce an executable file. That's correct. It's also a disadvantage. Debugging is very difficult. No, it's the opposite because it's checking one line at a time. It's checking each line if it has a problem, if it has an error. If it has one, it tells you immediately there's a problem with this line. More memory space is used as the whole program needs to be in the memory to be interpreted? No. Because it does one at a time and in the end it doesn't even save it. It uses less memory. Also, if it tells you advantages or disadvantages and one of the options is correct and it's the opposite of what they want, if they want an advantage and the answer is they mention a disadvantage, you ignore it because they only want the advantage. So, in an IDE, something is the application of different styles to the source code in order to make it easier to read and understand. Pretty print. It's a weird, it's a nice name. It's you add styles to make it clear which code, to make it pretty and understandable. Yeah. Rana is looking for errors in the program code she wrote and is fixing them. Rana is said to be debugging her code. She's looking for bugs in the program. Hani is writing a program using an IDE. He found out that as soon as he types a few letters, the IDE gives suggestions to complete the word he is writing. This is auto completion. Like look, this predictive text, for example, if I write R PR, like it gives me auto completions. Like I can write pressure, practice, probably, proteins. Like it gives me a collection of words to choose from. Ali's computer has an operating system installed on it. This is an example of system software. 32. Which of the following are characteristics of application software? Okay. They allow the smooth operation of hardware devices? No. This is system software. They include spreadsheet programs, internet browsers, and games. Yes, it's an application. The user runs them when needed. Yes. They provide an environment for other programs to work. No, because it is the program working in the environment. The thing that provides is the system software. Utility programs and device drivers are examples. This is system software, not application software. A printer is out of paper. It sends a signal to the operating system to display a message. This is an example of a hardware interrupt because we're talking about a printer. Which of the following is an example of a hardware interrupt? The user presses a keyboard key because the software recognizes it. A paper jam in the printer as well. It's a hardware. A divide by zero is a software interrupt. A printer tray is out of paper is hardware. Two processes are trying to access the same memory location. That's software. What happens when an interrupt occurs? The ROM checks the interrupt to decide how to handle it? No, it's something else. Wait, it had a name. It's the ISR, I mean. Interrupt service routine. This one. See, this process requires the use of an interrupt service routine, ISR, which is a software process that is invoked by hardware in response to a certain interrupt. It's not the ROM, it's the ISR, which is the interrupt service routine. Contents of registers are erased. No, like when the interrupt occurs, like the operating, like everything gets saved. Nothing gets deleted when the interrupt is being handled. So contents of registers are erased, but it's not an option. Details of the current task are saved, yes. Contents of the registers are saved, also yes. The user decides which interrupt is handled first, no. Because each one has a priority. The system itself decides on that. The something is responsible for receiving and handling interrupt signals, the operating system. See, it says here, the first sentence. See? Wait. It has to be reloaded. Wait. Oh, see? Hardware interrupts require direct attention from the operating system. See? It mentions it in the book. 37. Which of the following is a disadvantage of a low-level programming language? It is difficult to understand, yes. It's hexadecimal. If you compare it to a high-level programming language, it's basically really hard. But it's way easier than the binary languages, which is only 0 and 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. It's easier than but the machine language, but harder than the high-level language. It cannot communicate directly with registers, no. It is not portable, yes. It is difficult to code and debug, yes, because you He can barely understand it. It's يعني it's not nice. It is not. It does not use the memory efficiently. No, it uses low memory space. 38. Which of the following is an advantage of a high-level programming language? It can make use of special hardware. No, this is only the low-level programming language. It is portable. Yes. It does not need to be translated into. No. It is easy to debug and maintain. Yes, because you can actually understand what is written. It is easy to code. Yes. C, because wait, the first option, it can make use of special hardware, is only for the low-level programming languages, which is bad. Like, which is bad because it's better to have more access to more hardware, to have more functionalities. This is a disadvantage for the high level. Yeah, it's a disadvantage because it doesn't have it. Okay, question 39. Which of the following statements are true about high-level programming languages? They interact directly with the registers in memory. No, this is low-level. They can handle special hardware. No. They are easy to use and understand. Yes. They are portable. Yes. They are machine independent. Yes. The low-level programming languages are machine dependent. It means that they work like if you have a high-level programming language, it works on every device. But if you have assembly language or low-level programming language, it doesn't work on every device. It works on only specific devices. Which of the following is the type of programming language? Then we have high-level language and we have low-level language. 41. Which of the following is an advantage of a low-level programming language? Okay. It's not portable. The code is easy to understand and write. No, it is fast. See, it mentions in the book as well. It's fast and efficient. The code does not take up a lot of memory space. Yes. It can interact directly with registers. Yes. All 3 points are mentioned in the book. See? Advantages. See, it says interacts directly with the registers in memory. It is fast and memory efficient. It can handle special hardware. Code does not take up a lot of memory space. While the high level, it takes up a large memory space. 42. Which of the following is a programming language that uses mnemonics and hexadecimal code? It's a low-level programming language, which is assembly language. Computers can only understand machine language. It cannot understand low-level nor high-level languages. Both of them need to be translated into machine using translators, which are interpreters, compilers, and assemblers. Which of the following is a feature of a compiler? It translates a low-level. No. It translates one source code statement at a time. This is an interpreter. It produces object code. Yes. Compilation must be completed before the program can run. Yes. It does everything, while the interpreter does one thing at a time. If a program needs to be run again, no, this is only for the interpreter. So it's only two options. 45. Which of the following is used to translate a high-level language? So you have the compiler and the interpreter. 46. Which of the following is an advantage of an interpreter? Less memory is used since only a few lines of source code need to be in memory at a time. Yes. It does it one line at a time. They usually use small codes because doing the whole thing is just too much and it takes too much time. Objects machine code is produced? No, because in the end it doesn't get saved. Like if you want to redo it, you need to reinterpret, like recompile the whole thing. Like you need to redo it. I don't know what the term is exactly. Better security because the source code is not distributed? No. Debugging is simple, yes, because it checks one line at a time, and that's it. I think the exe one is for the compiler in the end. I think. So I'll also double check it at the end of the video if needed. I'll take a picture. Question 47. Programmers use something to help them write code and be more productive in software development. They use the IDE. It's like something that helps you write programs, design, autocorrect, and stuff like that. Autocorrect? Wait. See autocorrection by providing suggestions to correct syntax errors. Okay. 48. Which of the following are features of an IDE? IDE, autocorrection, translators, and code editor. Photo, like we're coding. Like, why do we need to edit a photo? So we have a code, we can translate it, and we can autocorrect it as well. 49. In an IDE, the something enables programmers to type their code, save it, and open already saved programs. Code editor. Debugging is debugging. Pretty print is to make it pretty, to add colors to it, to make it organized. Translator, it's to translate photo. Photo is a photo. It has nothing to do with it. While writing a program, Noor wrote the instruction print, PRNT, which displayed a syntax error. However, the IDE suggested the word print a syntax found a syntax error while compiling her program. This as an example of the autocorrection because it's correcting it, not completion. Because like if I write PR, it completes it by itself. This correction is like I got it wrong and it's correcting me after I got it wrong. 51. Which of the following is a disadvantage of a high-level programming language? It is hard to code. No. It has poor control. Yes. It doesn't have much control on hardware or special hardware. So it's a disadvantage. It may not make use of special hardware. Yes. Tasks up large memory space. Yes, it's much more than the low-level programming language. It is not portable. No. It's the low level that's not portable. 52. In an IDE, something enables the programmer to execute the program step by step. Runtime environment. The runtime environment enables the programmer to execute the program step by step. It's written in the book. Yeah, okay. Virus scanners, data compression programs, and disk defragmenters are all examples of utility programs. These are small tasks that help the operating system function. They're a type of system software as well. Which of the following is an example of system software? Utility program. Yeah, the rest are all application softwares. 55. What a long quiz. Which of the following can translate low-level programming language? Assembler. Oh yeah, when I was doing the quiz, I accidentally chose this one. So be careful. You need to actually read what you're choosing. Okay, Bismillah, inshallah that's correct. Okay, Alhamdulillah, it's all correct. This is now the 40 question quiz. Something is a service of the internet and is the collection of websites and web pages on the internet. The World Wide Web is a service of the internet. It's like everything, websites, web pages, the World Wide Web. It has everything, SDP, Roblox, ChatGPT. It has everything. Question 2. Every web page on the internet has a unique text-based internet address called the URL. Like, this one. Wait, this is the URL. Look, this thing. SDP URL, which is I think only this one. I'm not sure, but this thing is the URL. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's the address of the page. HTTPS is encrypted using a protocol called Transport Layer Security. So the HTTPS is encrypted using this protocol. You need to know Transport Layer Security. Also the way it's spelled. It might like change it a bit and tell you which spelling is correct. Question 4. Web pages are created using coding written in HTML. It's the language or like the thing that you use to code web pages. The programming languages that we took are only for applications, but if you want to make a page, you need to use HTML. Something is a program required to. I'm not sure about the high level, low level, but it's not related to web pages. No, it's not related. So something is okay, back to the question. Something is related. So it's something is a program required to display and navigate through web pages. Web browser. This is Chrome. This is the browser I use to go on SDP to go through the web pages. Okay, next question. Question 6. After we enter the URL into a web browser, the browser uses the something to look up the IP address for the domain name, the DNS server. See, it says, wait, why is it not written? Oh, look, see, it says here the browser uses the DNS server to look up the IP address for the domain name. From its name, it's like domain, D. You can think about it, right? After we enter the URL, the browser uses this server, the DNS server, to look up the IP address. So you put URL, this URL, browser uses the server to get the IP address for this, to look up the IP address for the domain name. Question 7. Something are small packets of data that are stored on a computer by the web browser. Cookies. Like, you know, when you enter like a Sabbath website and then it says accept all cookies or reject cookies. The cookies are the small packets of data that are stored by a computer by the web browser. There's permanent cookies and there's temporary cookies. Okay, wait. Something are stored in a file on the computer's hard disk and help the website remember valuable information such as settings, preferences, and login credentials. They are not deleted. When the browser is closed, would they have an expiration date? Persistent session. Persistent cookies, because it remembers like the past. It remembers information. They're not deleted when the browser is closed. They have an expiration date. Like everything has an expiration date. Something are stored in a temporary memory location and are deleted after the session is completed or the browser is closed. Session cookies, temporary cookies. They're called session cookies. Something is a money-like resource that is managed, stored, and exchanged across computers or mobile phones, mainly over the internet. Something digital, something online, you cannot touch it, so it's a digital currency. Okay. Question 11. Something is a specific type of database that stores data in blocks in chronological order. Blockchain. It's something you have to remember it. Wait. Here, wait. Blockchain is a type of database that stores data in blocks in chronological order. See, it's a ledger to track transactions research, politics, contracts, and more. They are also used with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, in a decentralized way. No one is the leader of the thing. All users control it. Yeah, yeah. What's this? See, when a new transaction occurs, a new block is created. A block has three values in it. It has the data, the hash value of the previous block. The data contains the name of the sender and the recipient, and the amount of money in the transaction. The hash value is a unique value generated by the algorithm. A new hash value is created with each new block. So it's an identifier for the block. It's a name, a value for the block. A timestamp that identifies when the transaction took place. The hash of the previous block to make the chain secure. Because it's a chain, like you need the previous to have the current. Okay, let's go back. Question 12. Breaking into a computer device is referred to as hacking. It's pretty well known. Something is a method of attempting to obtain unauthorized access to a website or server by repeatedly trying or guessing different password combinations until the correct password is discovered. Brute force attack here. Password. That's why, like, when you on your phone, it sometimes tells you can try in 5 minutes after trying many times to enter a password. So it does not get crazy. Something is a cyber attack that involves attempting to intercept a wireless or wired communication. Data interception, from its name, is a cyber attack that involves attempting to intercept a wireless or wired communication. An effort to overload a network or website with many requests traffic in order to slow it down or make it unresponsive is known as a DDoS, distributed denial of service. See, this one I got confused with the brute force attack. Brute force attack, it means like you don't know the password and you keep on trying. But here, like, you have the password and you have the access. Or no, sometimes you don't have the access. But like, when there's like a finals week, everyone is using SDP, so it becomes slow. It becomes slow because there's a distributed denial of service, because everyone is using SDP. There's many signals, so it goes crazy and an overload happens and it becomes slow. That's why we always complain about it. Something is when an attacker creates a situation to manipulate people into handing over confidential information. So social engineering, like when when you get a message on the phone, have you rented a car with us in the past? We have an order that you did. This is like a manipulation. Like, did I actually do that? So it's social engineering. Something software is designed to keep computers safe from malicious software. Anti-malware software scans a computer for malware to detect, monitor, quarantine, isolate, and erase it. Anti-malware, from its name. Oh, yeah. No, wait. Anti-malware is used to detect the malware. Like, there's something wrong and the anti-malware detects it and erases it. But here, to keep it safe to begin with, like to prevent it from coming to begin with, we use a firewall. Or wait, anti-malware software أحسن. No, I was getting confused with something else. So anti-malware software is designed to keep computers safe from malicious software. The firewall is the thing that we have in school. Like, we have our tablet and we have the proxy server and we have the website that we want, or the application. The proxy server has a list of websites that we're not allowed to enter, the blacklist. So we tried to enter it, the proxy server says no, we cannot actually enter it. And I think also the web server, if it tries to send us something, we won't receive it because of the proxy server. I got it confused with the anti-malware. I apologize. Question 18. To help keep data safe, social networks may use something to specify who may read, write, or modify information. Access levels. Social networks may use access levels. Like I can choose someone to only modify on my channel, or I can choose an admin. Like on WhatsApp, like you have an admin can do everything. While if you're a normal member, you can you can do many stuff, but not everything. Like you have limited access, basically. Question 19. Something is a term that describes the set of hardware and software components that, when assembled and powered, operate autonomously. An automated system. From its name. An automated system is a term that describes the set of hardware and software components that, when assembled, powered, operate autonomously, like by themselves. 20. Something devices or electronic components and instruments that feed data into the automated system. Input devices, sensors. Like I'm a automated system. I have a sensor. Yeah, okay, we have an automated system. I'm an automated system. I have a sensor. Then I touch something hot. Temperature sensor. I can change the process. I can change the processing. Like this is too hot, we should cool it. And yeah. Something devices contain a microprocessor that obtains data from the sensors, processes, and analyzes the data, and then runs commands in response to the data received. We're still talking about the automated system. We have input devices, then we have control devices in the middle that have microprocessor that obtains data from the sensors, which are the input devices, processes, analyzes, and then runs commands. Okay, 22. In an automated system, something is the component that moves in response to a signal coming out of a microprocessor, the actuator, or the output device. I don't know if it's written output in the book, but it's an actuator. See? So it says output devices, actuator, control devices, control units, input devices, sensors. Okay. 23. Something is the process of recognizing a user's identity. Before logging into an account, you are requested to enter a name and password to provide a first layer of security to your account. Authentication. Like you need to make sure that the person who's trying to enter is the person that's supposed to enter or has permission to enter. The person who knows the password has the authorization to actually enter into the account. Like the SDP accounts. Not everyone knows your password, only the people who you gave your password to and the school. Question 24. What is the access protocol in the below URL? HTTP. See, there's something you need to memorize. Wait, the book. See, this is how the URL is made. See, this is the access protocol, HTTP, domain name, /path, like with every slash there's something. See, so this is HTTP, www.sabis.net is the domain name, the domain name, schools, which is the path, and this is the file name, and the domain name is cut into 3 subcategories, which is the subdomain, which is the www, and the website name is Sabis, and the domain type is net. You need to know this. You can screenshot it if you want. Question 25. Which of the following is true about HTTPS? It is encrypted. Wait, this one is wrong. It's not the correct spelling. Wait, let's go to the others. It is encrypted using a protocol called transport layer security. They can also change this one, so I need to be careful. It is secure. It is a secure communication. Yes. It relies on an encryption decoding process. Yes, because it's encrypted using the transport layer security. It is an insecure. No, that has nothing to do with the internet. See, wait. Hypertext transfer protocol. See, hypertext transfer protocol secure. Okay. So that's why it's not correct. If it was the correct spelling, we would choose it. Which of the following is not a function of a true feature of a web browser? This one. You can open many tabs. Chrome is a web browser. Look at this. I have 64 tabs open. What do they mean, no tabs? That's it. This is the only option we can choose. Which of the following are features of a web browser? There's refresh, back and forward buttons, as you can see. Up. It can bookmark a page but cannot save it. You can bookmark a page but you can't save it. You can't save it. It can only open a single tab at a time. No. It can manage and store cookies. Yes. There's an address bar. Yes, this is the address bar. This thing. This is the bar. The address bar. Yeah, I think. Wait, if you want to double check. See? This is the address bar. This one. Okay. 28. All of the following is true about a web browser except it is a program used for designing and creating web pages. This is wrong because this is HTML, not a web browser. Web browser, you can browse pages, you can see them, so you cannot create them using a web browser. You need to use the HTML to actually create a web page. Okay, 29. Jenny types a URL into a web browser's address bar. What is the next step that the web browser does so that the web page is displayed? This one. See, the browser uses the DNS server to look up the IP address for the domain name. Like you write the URL and then the thing has to get sent to the DNS server so we can find the IP address for the domain name so we can actually access the page that you want to access. See, there's a set of steps, which is good to know for the written part. Especially for the computer and written, but especially the written. But they want us to write it down. It's only one. Question 30. Which of the following is true about cookies? They determine new and returning visitors. Yes. They remember settings from the user's last visit to a web page. Yes. They allow the user to browse the internet without the need for an internet connection. No. No. They allow users to open websites without a web browser. No. This is part of the web browser. It tells you in the web browser, do you want to accept the cookies? They store items in shopping carts. Yes, depending on what you like, what you see. Sometimes it does that. Question 31. Which of the following is not a use of cookies? Store IP address information. It does not go into the details. It shouldn't. It determines new and returning visitors to a website. It remembers settings from the last visit to a web page. It says it sees what the user likes. It doesn't care about the IP address of the user. They wouldn't really gain anything. They're not tracking the user. They're just seeing what this random user likes from the website. Which of the following are false about cookies? Cookies can modify data in a computer without the user's knowledge. Cookies are a kind of spyware? No. If without the user's knowledge, it would be a kind of spyware. This is the definition. And there wouldn't be cookies if it's illegal. They wouldn't just tell us, oh, we're gonna steal your knowledge. So no, it's false. Cookies are used to produce website pop-ups? No. It's used to track the user preferences and what they like. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3 are false. 33. Which of the following is true about digital currency? Like from its name, it's digital, it's online. Shoe cannot be used online. It is money-like resource that is managed, stored, and exchanged across computers. Yes. It can be used to purchase goods and pay for services. Yes. The TLS, no. The TLS, it's the transport layer something. You need to double check. Which is used to encrypt the HTTPS, I think. Yeah. It has a physical form. I said it earlier on in the video if you want to double check. It has a physical form such as banknotes and minted coins. No, it's digital. Okay, we skipped the question, it's fine. What is the name of the network security device that monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic and permits or blocks data packets based on a set of security rules? This is the firewall, the school. This is my tablet. This is my proxy. This is my website. This one has a blacklist. This one, like the website you're trying to enter is in the blacklist. The proxy server says no, you cannot enter it. Same vice versa, if the web server wants to send you a notification, you won't receive it. So this is the firewall. 34. Which of the following is not a primary role of the proxy servers? They permit... Yes, you can keep your identity hidden. It kind of protects you. That's why I was confused in the first, like one of the first few questions, because it keeps it hidden. It's like I thought it's like something similar, but it's different. They can act. This one. They don't use cache to speed up access to a website after storing pages. Oh, wait. No, this one is correct. Because sometimes, if you access a web page too much, it might get saved in the proxy server. So you can just automatically take it from the server and take it back. Mr. said it in class. Checking the privacy settings on a web browser to see if it stores browsing cookie and histories. Doesn't care. Doesn't care about the privacy settings of an individual. It gets private. You cannot see it. It's not a primary role. I don't know if it's a role, but it's not primary. We don't care about it. And something is dedicated to stopping all data packets at the firewall and is inspecting them before they are permitted to be transmitted. Proxy server. We talked about it. Which of the following are advantages of using an automated system in agriculture? Better safety, since fields may be hard to work in. Like imagine the whole day, like you put seeds in the soil, like it's really hard work, and if you have robots, automated systems to do that, it would be really easy. Setup costs in such systems are very low. No, the problem is it's really expensive. It's new machines, requires too much money, and it's innovative. All types of vegetables and fruits grow quickly in these systems. No, it depends. Like still, like not everything is gonna work out. the whole time. There is reduced labor costs, yes. Optimal use and reuse of water, nutrients, and minerals. This one is written in the book. All types of vegetables, not all types. It's written in the disadvantages. Wait, if you go down, see here. It says here. It says not all vegetables can grow quickly in these systems. And the initial costs are high. Hydroponic systems are vulnerable to power outages. If a disease appears, all plants in the system will be affected because it's in one place. 38. What are the advantages of automated systems in the industrial sector? There is an increase in production quantity. It allows for more consistent, higher quality products. Yes. Yes. Less humans messing up, by the way. Third option. It's a more efficient use of materials because you're using. Yeah, okay. The last one is correct, the first part, but this one increases the costs, which is a disadvantage, not an advantage. So you don't choose it. I think it's correct, yeah, because you need to actually maintain the system. Like you need to check it on a regular basis. Which of the following are parts of an automated system? We have the sensors, the control unit, and the actuators. Okay, question 40. What are the instruments that collect data from different sources by detecting specific parameters? Sensors, which are the same thing as the input devices. Okay, bismillah, inshallah everything is correct. Okay, alhamdulillah. If you have any questions, you can just ask me in the comments.